When I was in my teens, I moved to a small city named Clifton. It was located in an area we would call the country. The country has no cell reception, no electronic stores, and you are at least 30 minutes away from anything entertaining. I used to think the big cities had the most problems, but a year in Clifton made me pack up and head to the largest, most industrialized city the U.S. had to offer. We had this one guy in Clifton named Wheeler. He used to do a bunch of Dr. Frankenstein type shit. He used to come to the busiest part of the city and unveil a new type of monstrosity he had developed in his barn. What is that? I transformed the chicken into a beer cooler. How's the chicken doing? He don't feel nothing. He just a chicken. One night, there was a huge explosion that came from his farm, and the next morning everyone was talking about it and just assumed that he had tried to dig a grave and hit a gas line or some shit, which is honestly a bit concerning. But this guy had this cockroach vibe about him. Like, if he died, there would be some sort of clone that replaced him and everything would continue on like normal. But after a few days, there was no sign of Wheeler, and a bunch of strange accidents began to happen around the city. My friends and I went to the poultry market and tried to get some meat, but we found a butcher in the back of the market, ghostly white, trembling and clutching a hatchet. He kept saying shit like, they've had enough. They've decided to start fighting back. My friends and I looked at each other for a moment and understood the mission instantly. We took advantage of his fear and shock and grabbed as much chicken as possible, then ran out without paying. While running through the city, we noticed all the places that sold chicken were either burned to the ground or riddled with bullet holes. We even found this one guy that was pecked unconscious, and his body was left in the gully with a bunch of chicken feathers around him. It was at that point we pretty much figured out what was going on, and we knew we had a problem on our hands. So we did what no one else was willing to do. We went to Wheeler's farm to search for him, and after a few minutes of looking, we found him in a chicken coop with his hands and his legs tied together and a fake beak strapped on his face. Turns out, one of his tests went wrong, and it caused a group of his chickens to develop speech and human-level awareness. I don't know what I did, but them boys were pissed off. If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on the experiments you've been doing on them. We all worked together and began to brainstorm. If we were a group of vengeful chickens, where would we go? And after a few minutes of thinking, we saw one of the chickens just stroll by one of the windows and light a Cuban. So of course, we jumped on this cat immediately. What's the plan, huh? What the fuck do you guys want? In honor of the coup, I refuse to commit treason. Where's the rest of you at, boy? Still tight-lipped, huh? You still cluck like a pussy-ass chicken? After a few more minutes of enhanced interrogation, the chicken finally gave us the location of the coop. They were at the local library, and them boys were out there giving speeches and burning books. Fortunately, Wheeler used his crop duster to drop chicken feed laced with ricin all over the area. I moved away shortly after that, but it's a bit unsettling knowing that we're all just one bad experiment away from a chicken uprising.